Hello. We've now studied the whole book of Daniel. So this week I'm going to share some of the things that we've learnt from him. Daniel's life and his dreams help us to understand the times we live in and how to live in them. His circumstances resonate with ours. His dreams for the times he lived in reveal a message for our time. We have learnt not to have unrealistic expectations of an easy life. We would love to live in a world where there was no sorrow, no suffering, and we will do, but not yet. In this world, we have trouble. We have learnt that humanity is not on a path of progress. Some things get better, some get worse. Human nature remains the same. The ebb and flow of history continues, bringing suffering and conflict. And there will be a short time of intense trouble, intense suffering, and of persecution for those who love Jesus before Jesus returns. We learnt that Daniel is a good example of how to live. Daniel lived at a time when God's people had been defeated and were ruled by a foreign empire. Their only hope for the future came from God's promises. But God warned them that life would not be easy for a long time to come. Daniel had lost his home and his freedom, yet he still knew that God was with him. He relied on God. He asked for help and trusted him. Daniel wasn't swamped by the culture surrounding him, but consistently lived for God. Daniel lived well under pressure, in both the ordinary everyday and in a crisis. He worked hard, learned lots, prayed faithfully, and was respectful and kind. For Daniel and for us, life can be a long obedience in the same direction. So we learnt about the need for endurance and perseverance. Daniel lived with integrity. Here is a definition of integrity by Brené Brown. Integrity is choosing courage over comfort, choosing what is right over what is fun, fast, or easy, and choosing to practice our values rather than simply professing them. In a crisis, Daniel still responded with integrity, still trusting God, still praying, keeping calm, putting God first even before his personal safety. Daniel's friends showed the same integrity when they said, "The God whom we serve is able to save us. He will rescue us. But even if he doesn't, we will never serve other gods." We saw that God was with Daniel and his friends, helping them, giving them wisdom and insight, answering their prayers, and sometimes rescuing them miraculously. We also learned about two kings who were powerful and arrogant. One of them refused to learn and dishonoured God. The other king eventually learned his lesson. He said, "I want you to know about the miraculous signs and wonders the Most High God has performed for me. How great are his signs, how powerful his wonders. His kingdom will last forever." And so we have learnt not to think too highly of ourselves, but to look up, to look up with awe and wonder, with love and gratitude and trust to our God. We also learnt that power on earth is fragile, limited and corrupting, but that God's power is supreme. It is unstoppable, unbreakable, always good, always kind. His plan centres on Jesus, and we are part of it. His plan is that in the ruins of our broken world, he will bring a kingdom of goodness, peace, and joy, where people love one another and live happily with God. This kingdom has begun with Jesus' death and resurrection. This kingdom is growing as more people receive his forgiveness and the new life he gives. And when Jesus returns, he will begin a new era when his kingdom will fill a new earth. We learnt too that God loves to speak to us and to listen to us, and that like Daniel, we are precious to God. So, as we persevere through the ups and downs of life, I think Daniel would say to us the same words that the angel said to him. Don't be afraid, for you are very precious to God. Peace. Be encouraged. Be strong. And thank you for listening. Bye.